In a quiet forest near a small village, there lived a monk whose presence softened even the wildness of nature. He walked slowly, spoke gently, and listened deeply. Birds did not scatter when he passed. Deer did not flee. Even the wind seemed to lower its voice around him. Not far from the monk's hut lived a snake. It was not a large snake, nor particularly fierce, but it carried venom, as snakes do. The villagers feared it and avoided the forest path near its home. One afternoon, the monk encountered the snake resting peacefully in the sun. Instead of recoiling, the monk sat at a distance and closed his eyes. The snake, sensing no threat, remained still. After a long silence, the monk spoke softly. "Brother, why do you frighten the villagers?" The snake replied, "It is my nature. I protect myself." The monk nodded. "Your nature is not wrong," he said, "but causing fear and harm binds you to suffering. If you wish to grow beyond instinct, do not bite." The snake was intrigued. No human had ever spoken to it this way. "Then how shall I live?" the snake asked. "Live harmlessly," the monk replied. "Practice restraint. Trust that peace will protect you." Moved by the monk's calm, the snake agreed. From that day onward, the snake stopped biting. When villagers passed, it retreated silently into the bushes. When children threw stones, it endured quietly. When dogs barked and chased it, it slithered away without protest. But something unexpected happened. Seeing that the snake no longer defended itself, the villagers grew bold. Children began to tease it. Adults struck it with sticks. One day, a group of boys beat the snake severely, leaving it wounded and barely alive. Days later, the monk returned and found the snake hiding weakly beneath a rock, its body scarred and trembling. "What has happened to you?" the monk asked, shocked. With great effort, the snake replied, "Master, I followed your teaching. I did not bite. I caused no harm, yet I was beaten nearly to death." The monk was silent for a long moment. Then he said gently, "I told you not to bite. I did not tell you not to hiss." The snake looked up, confused. "You misunderstood my teaching," the monk continued. "Non-violence does not mean weakness. Compassion does not mean silence in the face of cruelty. Wisdom is knowing how to protect yourself without harming others." In Zen, the monk said, the bamboo bends in the storm, but it does not break. In Sufi wisdom, he added, the lover of God is gentle, but never a doormat. You had venom, but you did not need to use it. You had a voice, but you forgot to use it. A hiss would have been enough. The monk helped the snake recover and continued, "When you remove your fangs, do not remove your boundaries. People mistake kindness for permission, silence for consent, patience for weakness. This is the danger of half-learned spirituality. True spiritual strength is not found in submission, but in clarity." A Zen master once said, "If you see a snake on the path, step aside. If the snake blocks the way, let it know you are there." And a Sufi teacher taught, "Be soft like water, but remember, water can move mountains." The monk looked at the snake and said, "In life, you will meet people who push because you do not push back. They strike because you do not respond. They disrespect because you never object. This does not mean you should bite, but it does mean you should hiss. Speak when silence becomes self-betrayal. Set boundaries without hatred. Stand firm without cruelty. Protect yourself without becoming violent." The balance. Do not confuse humility with invisibility. Do not confuse forgiveness with tolerance of abuse. A lamp that never flickers is trusted. A lamp that never signals danger is replaced. A lamp that burns steadily and warns when needed lights the way. The snake understood. From that day on, it lived peacefully, but when threatened, it lifted its head and hissed, and that was enough. No one harmed it again. The monk left the forest that evening and whispered one last teaching into the wind. Spirituality is not about becoming harmless to others, but about becoming harmless without losing yourself. May you learn when to forgive, when to speak, when to endure, and when to hiss. And the forest returned to silence, a silence filled with wisdom, not fear.